And it looks like that vehicle is now having some issues after hitting something, almost spinning out there, but continuing to drive now through traffic. You see moving pretty quickly compared to other cars out there. Now, obviously, we're getting close to rush hour, but we're not in it, so roads aren't too busy. But that vehicle now moving quickly on 290, again, heading into the Houston area, coming in from Prairie View. So that vehicle, again, coming into the area, recently passing Jones. We are watching and keeping a track on this. We have not gotten an update from law enforcement as to how this started, but we can see here this vehicle has been coming in with about 3 people inside, according to the law enforcement officers now in pursuit, heading down 290, again, south into the Houston area. So we're continuing to keep an eye on this, waiting for an update from law enforcement, who you see is right on this vehicle's tail. So they are keeping a close track on this vehicle as it moves through, and luckily roads are not too busy. Our biggest concern, though, of course, is the safety of other drivers when a chase like this initiates and moves through areas that during rush hour will eventually become quite busy. So please be careful. If you have anyone heading home a little early from work today or picking someone up from school and heading through this area, you are going to have to be very careful. Again, they're passing under the Beltway now on 290, heading in past the Beltway in towards the city of Houston. That black vehicle is the vehicle law enforcement is watching. Of course, as we move through the overpasses, you can sort of see it's still weaving in there. And there's that vehicle. There's law enforcement right behind them in the center of your screen. Right now, we can only see one law enforcement vehicle, but we understand there are additional vehicles involved in this pursuit. You are watching live from our Skyfox camera as this vehicle continues to evade law enforcement on 290, which is relatively wide open. But look on the other side, you can see the traffic heading in the northbound direction on 290. So that traffic starting to pick up as people continue to head out. And as we get towards the end of the day, we're going to see more and more people on those roadways. So please be careful. Again, 290 heading south into the city, just past the Beltway is where we are following this chase, which looks like it might be slowing down a little bit at this point, just a little bit. But again, you see a lot of open space there, so this driver has not been afraid to hit pretty high speeds so far in this chase. So it looks like this person is continuing to take advantage of the open space on the highway as they're coming down. We know HPD is assisting, so the Houston Police Department assisting with DPS in this chase. So both agencies right now involved in being after this vehicle, which started in the Prairie View area. It's right now weaving through what relatively little traffic they've had to deal with so far. 290 now approaching Tidwell in this area. So you can see still a lot of space on the road for this driver who's trying to maybe get off to the side there. Just a moment ago, if you're just joining us, that vehicle hit something and almost spun out, but was able to continue driving, now weaving through on the side. Is that a car going to exit? Looks like they're going to take that exit ramp there at Pinemont Drive in Bingle. So that vehicle now getting off of the highway onto side roads. You see coming around that red truck there. That red truck able to get out of the way. This vehicle moving very quickly now on the feeder roads, coming up on soon enough, going to be coming up on some intersections. And often we see these chases come to an end when a driver will rush an intersection, get hit by a vehicle that was not expecting someone to run that red light. So very, very close eye on this, and a warning to anyone, again, in the 290 area, south of the Beltway, heading south towards the city, having just exited on Pinemont. This black vehicle now being pursued by both HPD and DPS. We're awaiting details on what started this in the Prairie View area, and obviously very concerned about the safety of other drivers. So here we see an intersection and that driver barreling through. Luckily, looks like no one else heading through the intersection at the same time. So that spares us that intersection. Of course, we'll be very concerned as this driver continues to stick on the feeder for the safety of those other drivers who are not going to necessarily see this coming from around stopped traffic as they get to these intersections. So looks like another intersection cleared. That was Antoine, as we see this driver now moving through. It's coming up on 3 o'clock, so we're going to have people getting out of school, people heading home from work early. So we're hoping to see this end sooner than later. But now this driver heading more into residential areas off of 290. What started in Prairie View now moving through residential areas. This is the Service Road 290 now heading in onto surface streets, heading past a lot of homes there that you see, a lot of traffic pulling over. So tell anyone you know who's in this area or coming off 290, please be careful. All right, so this will be interesting. Drivers squeezing through And so that's luckily not a crash, but that's often, again, what we see, drivers not expecting to see a car barrel through an intersection when they have the light. So that vehicle just avoided one problem, now coming around and weaving through traffic again on more surface roads through near more residential areas. So this is our concern now, that everyone is able, oh, look at that, HPD blocked by that truck, which is also stopping. All right, truck, come on. No, looks like the truck gave that driver a bump there. And now hopefully law enforcement catches up, because they just lost law enforcement. We understand at least 2 people are in this vehicle. We're told possibly 3 people, but look at that bold move, cutting right in front of another car within inches of them to get into now a neighborhood. So you've got kids getting home from school. That was northbound on Antoine, and now we're confirming which neighborhood this is. But please be careful if you live off Antoine. As we confirm this, just be careful on your own neighborhood streets. This is just horrible when we see people putting others in danger like this. So again, driver just came off Antoine, driving through neighborhoods. Unclear what started this when it began in the Prairie View area, but we know the Houston Police Department and Department of Public Safety is involved in this chase. We have our Skyfox cameras on this vehicle after the Houston Police Department got blocked by a truck, and this vehicle was able to get away, or at least put some space. So this is on Libby Street. You see a lot of homes now in the area, getting back towards some of the businesses as well. This car moving still very quickly, even without police right on their tail. This driver is moving very quickly, trying to stay away and avoid being caught up with by HPD after a truck blocked the HPD vehicle that was just feet behind it in this pursuit. So we have our eyes on this vehicle. Law enforcement does as well, even if they're not right behind them. They've got their eyes in the sky as well. So we are continuing to watch this. I believe this is Bingham now. Mingham, sorry. So hopefully anyone in the area, if you know someone living in the area, anyone heading home from school right now, please give them a call. These intersections are where things become so dangerous. And there we have it, law enforcement back on the trail of this vehicle. Now 2 law enforcement vehicles visible. Again, we have the Houston Police Department and DPS. This is TC Jester that this driver just turned on heading north. Again, not too far from 290 where the driver got off of the highway, heading north on TC Jester and moving at least away from some of that residential area, which is good for at least the moment. But we are concerned as we get closer and closer to rush hour. Rush hour begins early in the Houston area sometimes, and so we are concerned for anyone who might be heading home, particularly anyone who's getting out of school. If we have students on the road, if we have students getting off the bus, walking home, if you can contact your student. This is, again, in the northwest Houston area near TC Jester. If you can contact that student, you see a bus there passing by, just let them know to keep their eyes peeled, to please be careful as we continue to watch this vehicle with what we're told at least 2 people, if not 3, inside, evading law enforcement after a chase that began in the Prairie View area just a short while ago. So barreling through what was a red light just then. Again, these intersections, if you know anyone who's on the road in these areas, please give them a heads up, because this becomes extremely dangerous when someone's not expecting for someone to be so reckless through an intersection when they do not have the right of way. So a lot of vehicles slowing down, getting to the side, trying to help law enforcement stay on the trail of this car, which almost evaded them just moments ago. So this is eastbound on 43rd. Heading, again, northwest Houston, heading through residential area once again, driving very quickly compared to other vehicles. We are concerned for anyone who's not watching. Listen, if you live in the area, if you know someone in the area, listen for those sirens. If you hear it, you want to slow down, you want to get to the side of the road, you want to avoid being near or standing near the roadway. If you're on a sidewalk, he is now in a school zone. No, that driver just barreled through a school zone. So obviously a huge concern for us. That silver vehicle getting out of the way after that was Oak Forest Elementary. So I'm glad that silver vehicle did not get hit. This driver has been driving recklessly in a way that would not put it past this person to put someone else in danger. We've seen recently in a chase, vehicles push other vehicles to get through intersections. So if you hear that law enforcement siren coming through, looks like cars are trying to remove themselves from the path here. That was Ella Boulevard that this driver just passed. Again, this is the Garden Oaks area, northwest Houston. Please be careful. This is a residential roadway that this driver is on. The driver coming off of 290 after starting this chase in the Prairie View area, now bringing law enforcement through residential areas as we continue to avoid any problems so far. But the concern, of course, is for the safety of other drivers driving on the wrong side of the road now, barreling through at least a green light there with that intersection, but moving through a lot faster than anyone's going to be expecting to see a car moving at this point. These drivers who try to escape law enforcement rarely care about the safety of others, so no surprise, but we are concerned for your safety here at Fox 26. So we're continuing to follow this and bring you updates again eastbound on 43rd, northwest Houston. That black vehicle that you see there coming, slowing down in this intersection, looks like trying to navigate this and turning now. Law enforcement, this is Shepherd, law enforcement right behind, now heading south on Shepherd. So this vehicle is south on Shepherd, which means should be coming close to the 610 loop soon. Again, heading south, 610 loop, so we're heading towards the Heights area. Again, if you have anyone coming home from school right now or preparing to leave work early, please give them a heads up if they're in this area. This is, you see the Aldi right there, taking a left on Garden Oaks, continuing with law enforcement just feet behind. We've seen 2 law enforcement vehicles right there on the trail of this vehicle closely, and then of course law enforcement has their eyes above in the sky just as we do, keeping a close eye on this driver and their location. So sometimes we'll see them get ahead of the driver, be able to put out spike strips, be able to cut them off. So far this driver has been able to continue moving now after beginning again in the Prairie View area, coming down 290 and now into residential areas and commercial areas where we are seeing a lot of cars having to dodge and get out of the way. All right, look at that. You can see just how many law enforcement vehicles are following. You got 4 of them now just on the trail of this car, which just a couple minutes ago was able to have a truck block the HPD vehicles. And this person now turning, that was eastbound on Cross Timbers, turning now to loop around. These roadways getting smaller and smaller, so it becomes more and more problematic. This is in residential area. Please be careful. Listen for sirens if you're towards the Heights area. If you, all right, heading off the road, hitting into a vehicle there in a driveway. That black car is what we have been following now for several minutes with, looks like a busted front end now. Front of the car starting to lift up, so must have hit that truck pretty hard. And continuing, though, to move. Oh, look at that. You can see the damage there on that front bumper on the right side, passenger side. And we are told at least 2 people in this vehicle, if not 3, but we're back on 43rd Street now. Producer Maggie, which way are they heading? Do you know? We're continuing to watch them head eastbound. All right, so they are continuing, it appears, to head eastbound. Law enforcement right on the trail of this vehicle. So as they get closer and closer to rush hour, they may change their strategy, but so far they've stayed close, continuing to follow this person who's had 2. That was not the first time this vehicle's had an issue. The vehicle also hit something while driving on 290 and almost swerved out, almost fishtailed and was done there, but was able to continue driving. So we're continuing to watch this vehicle. Again, in the northwest Houston area, not far from the Heights, so now more North Houston, continuing to drive and weave through residential neighborhoods, heading eastbound on 36th Street at this point, and turning, weaving now. That front bumper hopefully will slow this down a little bit. But again, this is approaching Main Street. If you're in the Heights area or live near the Heights area, this is moving very quickly, so it could change neighborhoods pretty abruptly. But if you're in the Heights, Rice Military, near North Side, any of those areas, just a heads up until we get this dealt with. Call whoever you know. Oh, look at that. Someone was right there, almost hit someone. Looks like a mailman. All right, this person, the driver now turning into a driveway. Several law enforcement vehicles now. Law enforcement out. See them approaching the vehicle. It's that black vehicle that's parked behind another vehicle now between these 2 houses. Our camera coming around. Law enforcement circling the scene. So hopefully they will be getting someone in custody. Guns drawn. Law enforcement approaching that vehicle. We've been told possibly 2, if not 3 people All right, so law enforcement now has this person cornered. So the good news is the threat to the roadways appears to be over, and now hopefully law enforcement can take this person into custody without an issue. So again, heads up, if you have anyone in the Heights area, anyone near the Heights, just remind them to listen for sirens in case this continues. But at this point, it appears law enforcement has stopped. This is the Independence Heights area where this is now wrapping up. Looks like someone getting out of the vehicle. You can see arms up from the passenger door. Looks like they turned around, walking backwards. So hopefully this will turn into no incident. And looks like law enforcement's taken this into custody. So there you go. Driver, hands behind their back, being put in cuffs. And this chase is over. So thank you for allowing us the opportunity to bring this alert and breaking news to you. We're glad that nobody appears to have been hurt, but we will have a lot more detail coming up on the news at 5. I'm Caitlin Monty, and we now return to regular programming.